Welcome to the Hidden Why podcast, episode 1038. My interview with Gabe Nelson. We're discussing his new book, The Solopreneur's Money Manifesto. Enjoy. Hello, Gabe. Welcome to the Hidden Why podcast. How are you today?
I'm great, Lee. How are you?
Good. I just got to remember to press that record button, huh?
that has a tendency to be important for a podcast. Yes.
then we can launch this. So, mate, welcome to the show. You've got a new book out, The Solopreneur's Money Manifesto. What is a solopreneur?
Solopreneur is it's a solo entrepreneur. So I like to call them the people that say, you know what, I'm going to go start this great business and I'm going to run a great business, or I'm going to try to run a great business and make a lot of money and have a great lifestyle, but I just want to do it alone without a bunch of employees. And here in the United States, we call those W-2 employees. But as someone who decides to run a business on their own, they might contract out with a bunch of other people, but generally don't want to have all those employees on payroll and that they got to oversee all of the time.
Okay, fairly common these days, would you say?
Oh yeah, it's becoming more and more common. Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's the way forward for a lot of people, is to run their own business? Certainly, locally here that. Across many industries, people are doing their own thing now.
Oh yeah, I think it's coming. And I will not say any way, shape, or form that I was, this sage who saw this coming. But about 3 or 4 years ago, I said to my wife, I'm noticing a lot more of my clients making this change over to just be completely on their own. I've been doing it for quite a while. I think we're going to start to see more of this coming, but I didn't realize that a pandemic was going to put that on high speed, and really make it go faster.
Yeah, gotcha. You're a financial advisor, aren't you, by profession?
That is correct, yes.
How long have you been doing that for?
I have been delivering financial advice in one way, shape, or form since 1995, so for 27 years. I started in the insurance and financial services side, but I took a different approach, more of a consultative advisory approach all the way back then, and realized I really didn't like the auto and homeowners and life insurance world. So I morphed into the financial advisory space full on in 2000.
2000. Okay. Well, you've been doing it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So this book, what made you write this book, Money Manifesto, Solopreneur's Money Manifesto?
The big thing was, one, I wanted to share what the opportunities were for solopreneurs to really master their finances and create the life they want. That is the area I have the most fun working with my clients, and chose to specialize in that area. And about the time that I was, ramping up a podcast, I have my own podcast, and I was ramping up all of the things I was doing, this pandemic came along, and all of a sudden I had a lot of time, and I wasn't chasing my kids all over the country for, soccer and cheer and dance and all kinds of other things. I'm like, well, if there's a time to write a book, it's now. So I started writing it in 2020.
Done well. And what are the financial traps that we might face as small business owners or solopreneurs?
Well, a lot of them have a tendency to do with the mixing of the business books with the personal books. Is usually one of the first stumbling blocks that comes into play. Someone becomes an accidental entrepreneur, which happens a lot in this world, and they really don't know how to set up a billing or how to do anything. So they're just like, here, just pay me $1,000 or $5,000 or whatever the number is, and then they start to mix that into their personal accounts, and then we start to see problems.
Okay.
And then here in the United States, the next little piece becomes taxes. When people forget to start setting aside money for taxes, and they forget to start setting aside money to then start to build their own benefit plans. And so those are kind of like the first 2 to 3 stumbling blocks that come into place. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by benefit plans?
Excuse me. Like what I mean by benefit plans. Is the health insurance plans, the disability plans, the life insurance plans, the setting up of retirement accounts. Generally, those are set up for people when they go to work for someplace.
Yeah, I think the idea of, you have a drink of water there, Gabe. The idea of combining your personal and business finances, that makes a lot of sense. And I guess if you're not educated in that space, that's what you're going to do immediately, But there's some good software out there now, isn't it, to help us manage that process?
Oh yeah, I mean, QuickBooks is and there's all kinds of other options to QuickBooks. I just happen to use that one. So there's all kinds of software packages that can make your life easier. Definitely.
Yeah. So what are you hoping, by writing this book, what are you hoping to achieve? Like, what do you want the reader to take away?
Well, I want the reader to take away that it's actually able to be done. A solopreneur actually can sit down and start to plan out their life. And one, so the big thing is, yes, it can be done. But two, I wrote the book a little differently than your normal, what I would call financial planning or even business book. I start with a life wheel, which I stole from the coaching world, is how do you really want to live your life? And what are the things that you're seeing in your life that you're not doing what you should be or could be doing better?
Yeah.
And then move into getting your mind around the idea that you actually can do those things, and then build your business and your finances to support your life so that your business is supporting your life rather than your life supporting your business, to use a often used phrase.
Yeah, we often don't think of those things, and we start in reverse, don't we? This life wheel that you're talking about, is it a common coaching tool?
Yes. Yeah, it's a common coaching tool that, goes around multiple areas of your life and slices up almost kind of like a pizza, where, your relationships, your business, your finances, your health, your friendships, where do you live, all kinds of areas of your life that you assess. And there's an assessment in the book that you assess and use as your basis as to, okay, where am I trying to go? I mean, what am I trying to do with all this? And then how do I make my life better and make sure my finances are in line with doing that? Yes.
Good place to start if you're trying to manage your money, I suppose. Do you coach people, or do you just offer the financial advice services?
My coaching kind of just flows right in through my financial advice. And that's something that, it's just something I do that's a little different than a lot of other financial advisors, is I spend a lot of time talking business with my clients. Like, how can we make your business better? How can we make you more money? But also, how can we make sure that you're having a good life? And what are the things you need to do to make that happen? And I'll give you an example. I was on a call with a client here just recently, and she was kind of struggling with her business and wasn't really sure where to spend her time. And so I, pulled out a little bit of coaching from, coaching that I had participated in the past. And I said, well, let's just do a time audit. Sit down and audit your time for the next 2 weeks, and then email me back and let me know what you find. Where are you really spending your time? Has nothing to do with financial planning or financial advice. It's all about, how can we help her figure out her time? And then she'll know best where to start to spend that time to become more productive. And sure enough, not even 2 weeks in, she sent me an email in a week. And she's like, oh my gosh, Gabe, this was amazing. I can't even believe how I was spending my time. No wonder I felt like I wasn't doing anything, because I really wasn't. And so I'll bring tools out like that I've used in the past and help my clients. Yeah.
And that's a good practice to sort of assess your week or your day and figure out, what you're doing moment by moment, because you can really discover some interesting findings there. But I think the real point I want to sort of emphasize here is that idea of looking at where you want your life to be and what you want out of your life, both now and in the future. And I think sometimes, often actually, we don't even think about that, and we get carried away with the busyness of life. And then we sit here, in 10 years' time going, geez, what did I do with that last 10 years? But if you can sit there now and actually think about what you want, you might actually find yourself putting yourself on that almost easier path, if that makes sense.
Oh, it makes total sense. And to kind of go back to your whole your whole purpose in this world is you're then starting to live your life with a purpose. And I'll add in, you're with passion and purpose. But what I'll add is when you start to live your life with some purpose and start to run your business with some purpose and manage your finances with some purpose, you start to get some real clarity as to what is important and what is not.
You actually start to get some real results too, don't you? Like you said, like if you've got the purpose, you do get results. If you're just running on that hamster wheel, it seems like things don't happen. I've been through this in my own life where I was just running, didn't know where I was going, and nothing was happening for me until I decided to go, okay, well, what do I want here? What do I actually need? What do I desire? And then once I started to look at that, I started to focus on what I need to do to get that, which wasn't as much as I actually thought. And actually the results flowed in almost seamlessly.
Yeah, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing when you start to operate with some purpose. I totally agree.
What tips or advice do you have for us solopreneurs that can help us with our finances? Any few things that we should focus on?
Well, the first thing that I would take a look at is, and I'll almost repeat myself, but think about where you're really trying to go. Like, what are you trying to do in this world? Where are you trying to go? When do you want to retire or ever retire? What are the things that are really important to you? And then start to align your finances with those things. Now, the basic blocking and tackling is, okay, pay off your debt, put aside money in emergency savings and save for retirement in whatever manner that is. But the reality is start with where you really are trying to go and then start to build that with some purpose. And, tips, I could go into a whole bunch of them. I don't know which ones you want to have, but
it's just any. I guess most common, like you talked about the traps before that we can fall into. Totally understand the idea of having a goal and knowing where you want to go. That'll create purpose and direction for you in your business and financially. But some of the traps that we fall into financially, what can we do to make the money, I guess, that we earn through our business work harder for us, rather than us always working hard to get that money that then just disappears?
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I would say along that line is invest in your business in whatever way, shape, or form that is going to give you the opportunity to either A, leverage your time, or B, leverage your returns. And so where I'm going with that is in a solopreneur world, there's only so many hours in a day. And there are going to be experts out there that you can hire to leverage your time to allow you to focus on spending your time in your zone of genius. So one, so that you're billing yourself out at a much better hour, making more money for the work you're doing, delegating work off to other people. So that would be an investment in leveraging your time. The other pieces of the puzzle then start coming into then planning of, all right, well, like here in the United States, we spend a lot of time, I do, on building up retirement plans so that we can reduce taxes, build retirement money for the future. And that business and money inside of our business is going to then start to help prepare us for retirement. And that meaning using those funds in a very smart way to take advantage of a couple benefits that would come with it, such as reducing taxes, building up assets, utilizing the cash flow of the business to make your business stronger, which then makes your life stronger down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. How can we utilize that cash that's coming into the business? Because it's kind of a tricky one, isn't it? Because you obviously want to use it and make it work for you, but I guess a lot of companies might leave it sit there and not use it wisely, or vice versa. They might actually just draw on it all the time and pay a high tax on it for their personal gain. Is there some advice around how we should best use that money coming into the company?
Do you mean like above and beyond what you need in reserves, or do you mean just the cash flow
above and
that's
beyond.
coming in?
So if you got money coming in, and obviously you got your expenses covered, and you got some kitty there to for future whatever, of the business, future loss or gain. But then that extra additional income, like how do we best use that? Do we put it into super? Do we put it into property? Like how do we best invest that through the company so that it's helping us with our retirement plans?
This is going to sound like a vague answer, but it depends.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is it depends. It depends upon, yourself as the client. Let's just say, do you want to invest in property? If you have the cash flow and property is of interest, property is one of those things that doesn't generally go down other than in major financial crises like we had in 2008 and 2009. Yeah. But is that an appetite that you want to jump into, or is that an appetite that you want to sit at the table with? Meaning, do you want to have a property? There are fantastic gains and opportunities for growth, but there's also expenses and headaches that come with properties. Is that of interest? Is there an affiliate business that you actually could use that money to go buy another business that would then either help support your business or you would support with your business, meaning maybe you're trading clients back and forth, or one business provides an opportunity for your business to grow. I mean, those are a couple of ideas.
Yeah, so it's really case by case. You got to sit down with the individual and figure that out.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I've got the cash flow to go invest in properties, but I have no interest whatsoever to own a property. I don't want anything to do with someone having to make me fix a toilet in the middle of the night. It just doesn't interest me, or even in the middle of the day. And I know you can hire people and go that route, but that's just an area that's never been of interest to me. So then, how can you then have your business invest in things that are going to, like you said, build for retirement? A lot of times that comes down to certain types of retirement plans that your business can adopt. Here in the United States, I use solo 401ks a lot. I use cash balance plans or defined benefit plans where someone's literally creating their own pension plan for themselves through their business. So those are some of the ideas that I'll go down the road of if someone doesn't want to go get into owning properties or whatever it might be.
Different options for putting that money into. And what yourself, mate, with your lifestyle, I can see in the background there you're into Ironman. Obviously take care of your physical health. Are there any particular routines and habits you have that help keep you in check and aligned and on purpose during the day?
Yeah, I think it was probably about 4 years ago, I adopted a morning routine, and it was a little bit of an adaptation from Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning. Yeah. And I have a morning routine. It starts at 5 a.m. I get up, I get some form of exercise in, followed by a meditation, followed by reading in usually about 4 different books. There's a kind of like a daily devotional I read, and then a philosophy book, the Daily Stoic. I read that, a passage each day, and then I usually have 2 books sitting on my desk as part of that morning routine where I'll read 10 minutes in each book. And just to continuously keep my mind growing, whether it's through that faith piece or the philosophy piece, or then additional books. And then there's always some form of a journaling that comes in the morning. Yeah. And then part of it, which is just kind of fun, I head upstairs, I make breakfast for my family. I have a couple shots of espresso, and I'm back down in my office, in the ballpark of 8:30 in the morning, and it's go time. And I've gotten everything out of the way that I wanted to get done before the day got started. And so that sets me up every single day to be ready to go.
And the important things, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that routine. I've had Hal Elrod on the show, actually.
Have you really? That's cool.
And a really good morning routine. I follow something similar. I guess it changes and adapts as I move forward in life, depending on what's thrown in my direction. What do you do with your journaling? Is there anything you write about, or do you just put your thoughts on paper and just get it out?
I've been using over the last couple of years just more of a gratitude journal. And so 3 things I'm grateful for in the last 24 hours. And then something about the day ahead, meaning like, all right, like today, we're recording this on a Thursday. It's golf day for me. And so I'm going to go play golf with my buddies this afternoon. I'm going to have a couple drinks. I'm going to have a great time. And then, go home and start the day over the next day. And so generally on Thursdays, I have a tendency to write something about I'm excited to go play golf with my buddies and have a couple drinks. So
yeah, nice. And the meditation, do you do something particularly there? Is it just a mindfulness sort of practice following your breath, or?
It is a meditation through Peloton. We have a Peloton bike, and we utilize the app quite a bit. And so I do a 10-minute meditation every single morning, and I just pick one. The neat thing about the Peloton app is you can actually put in, have you taken that class before or not? And you can filter them. And so I just do a new meditation every single day. And that way I'm constantly getting a new type of meditation coming my way.
Yeah, cool. And mate, look, book launch there. It's available on Amazon. I'll stick a link in the show notes here for the guests listening today. Is there a best way people can reach you and find out more about your services, etc.?
Yeah, the best way is just go to my website. Go to GabeNelsonFinancial.com. There's a Start Here button. You click right on that Start Here button, and it tells you how I operate. And there's one other website I like to point people to, and that's called SolopreneurMoney.com. SolopreneurMoney.com.
That one of your websites?
Yeah, it's one of my other websites, and that website houses all of my podcast, my YouTube, my book informations, and then links to all my social media as well.
What's it? SolopreneurMoney.com?
Yep, SolopreneurMoney.com.
Money.com. Just looking it up now. I'll find that. I'll stick that in the show notes as well. Gabe, fantastic podcast today. Thanks for coming on and sharing a little bit about your book and some advice there as well. I'm sure the audience will get a lot out of it. And guys listening out there, I'll stick all the links in the show notes. Any parting words from you, Gabe?
No, just thanks for having me on, Lee. I really appreciate it. I guess, I'll have to take that back. I should have said yes. Think about the type of life that you want to live and build your finances and your business around it to get you there. Yeah,
I think that's the takeaway for me today as well. So I appreciate that, guys. Check it out at thehiddenwhy.com. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon. Thanks, guys, for listening to this episode. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. I hope you love what you're hearing. If you like this episode, guys, or any of the episodes that you're listening to here at The Hidden Why, please do me a favor by sharing it. You can share it with your families. You can share it with your loved ones. You can do that by using your favorite social media channels, using the icons on the platform that you're listening to The Hidden Why podcast. Also, guys, if you're a fan of the show, please connect with me. Connect with me at thehiddenwhy.com. I love to hear from you. I love to converse with the people that listen to this show to find out what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy, and perhaps if they have any questions or feedback for the show as well. You can stay up to date with all that I'm releasing here, guys. I do a solo show every Monday, a 3-minute thought every Thursday. I do 2 interviews a week on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and a book review every Friday. You can stay up to date with all that by subscribing to my newsletter at thehiddenwhy.com. Just enter your email address there, and also subscribing to the podcast on the platform that you choose to listen to your podcasts. You can also support the show, guys, by using the Amazon links at thehiddenwhy.com. So if you like books, you can get all the books that I review there, and anything else really that you like to purchase through Amazon. So use that link, it helps support the show. And we've also got a deal with Audible, guys. Audible is a fantastic way to listen to all your favorite books. We've got a deal with them so you can get 2 free books when you subscribe subscribe to a 30-day free trial. So check that out again at thehiddenwhy.com. Guys, that's it from me. You know what to do. Go out there, breathe more passion into every single moment. Do everything with greater purpose, and in doing so you will discover your hidden why. This is The Hidden Why. My name is Lee Martinuzzi. Until next time, peace, passion, and purpose. See you soon.